Shad, the anthem. Aniki da kal pa ashak im pa pa'ut, wu kalal ashak kawan da kalni. Aniki kasam un afaf pa pa'ut, wu pa pa'ut kawan kasam un afaf ni. Aniki wahu emma pa pa'ut, wu pa pa'ut kawan wahu emma ni. Nuk kador najih emma kasam un im pa pa'ut, wu kabab emma shakas un. Nuk kador kawan kalal pafaf nuk ragub dakul papaut. Telamab agabni kawan bakoy dakul papaut. Aniki yabad bin afusni. Papaut kawan aniki. Papaut kador nuk kador. Papaut amo nuk amo. I'm glad everyone was able to come today. The Father sent stories to me and asked me to share them with you. Once I'm finished, we will discuss amongst ourselves what we feel these stories from the Father are trying to tell us. Adults are allowed to listen, of course. However, let the discussion be amongst children. So let's begin. My beloved children, take this story not only into your ears, yet also into your mind, into your heart. The Father. Food for thought, the shop owner. The Bab walked into a man's shop and noticed it was full of all kinds of things. The man over the shop said, "How can I help you, young man? As I have stocked all kinds of bits and pieces." The Bab looked the shop owner up and down and greeted him, "Hetep, peace." The shop owner returned the greeting with a big smile. "I recognize you. You're the son of Nababtet and Atumre." That is true," Nabab answered. "Well, what can I do for you?" the man asked. The Bab looked him up and down again and asked, You got nails?" "Yes, I do." "Well then, so do you have any leather and do you have any twine?" "Yes, I stock twines of all kinds and leather. I also have all colors of dyes, 2 dyes, all kinds of things." The Bab looked at the man's feet and said, "Then why, for heaven's sake, have you not got yourself a pair of sandals?" The man looked down and wiggled his toes and said, "Because I am a shop owner, not a shoemaker." Food for thought, the beauty of it. The master teacher was walking on his way home, and one of the Nwapians came up to him and said, "Atimre, I was just speaking with the Muslim Islamism." The master teacher looked at the man, and his face lit up with a very big smile, look of love, and said, "That is a very beautiful religion, very, very beautiful indeed." Thus the man walked off confused. Another day, a sister saw Atimre sitting and drinking his favorite mint tea. She came close and said, "Master teacher, I was just at my mother's Christian church. She was in a Wapian." She said, "What of them?" Again, the master teacher smiled with much joy and said, "This is a very beautiful religion." The sister walked off confused. Atimre said, "Welcome, elder, what is it?" He said, "I saw this Jewish man. He had a box on his head and straps wrapped around his arm and a shawl on his shoulder. He had a cap on his head and he was bowling over and over. What do you say of that?" The master teacher looked right into the elder's eyes and said, again with a very bright smile, "This is a very, very beautiful religion, so very beautiful," and then turned away and began to read Taraq again. The elder just looked at him, stood up, and walked off. Another time came, and then Wapian asked about the Hindu temple, and another time asked about the Buddha and Confucianism and Taoism and Sikhism. Over time, they covered all known religions, so they said, "Let's go visit the master teacher and ask him a strange question." So they saw he just finished prayer and chanting, and they gathered around him. One stepped forth with much respect, master teacher. "I was just walking to this woman of Wiccanism." Another said, "Yes, and I was with a man of Satanism. What do you have to say of these, master teacher?" He stopped, looked around at the Nwapians again with a very big smile and a point of laughter and said, "They too are very beautiful. Religions," the crowd said. "Did you hear that? Then why are we in Runwapun, master teacher?" I looked at them all and I said, "The water of the sea is so very beautiful to the fish and safe for them, yet you could drown in that beauty. You are not a fish by nature. The skies are very beautiful to the birds and safe for them, yet you could fall to your death. You are not a bird by nature. All those religions are beautiful for those who it came and they accept it. Yet you are not Kakadu, Caucasoids, nor Dravadu, Indian, or Arabu, Arab, or not Mangalu, Asians by nature. Yet you would be lost inside of them, for they were not given for you by nature. To each his own, and to each their own. It is the most beautiful way. I smile for each of their beauty. Yet I have my own, Wunawap, and I smile for its beauty, for me, not them. So I smile for the right to believe. The Father. Food for thought, sacred or scared. These two words, sacred, scared, same amount of letters. One day at the temple, the master teacher taught all that Panazadu are in all people and things. It was such a great teaching of trust to a man who listened. Well, the next day, one of the temples, the Badat hippopotamus, went wild and was running up and down the road from the pool. It was mad, breaking down tents and trees, chasing the people all about. One of the master teacher's close students, Tatwi, was walking up the road. He had not seen the wild Dabab hippopotamus destroying all things, yet he had a look in his eyes of trust of last night's class with the master teacher, Atum, Ray. So down the road he walked. The people saw him coming and running out to him. Tatwi, Tatwi, stop. Don't go that way. Padabub, the hippopotamus, is mad and he will kill you. Tatwi looked at them. Don't you remember what our Pharaoh, Atumre, just taught us? That Panas Daru are in all things. Have no fear and trust it will be okay. And off he went. The people ran and hid down the road a ways. He saw Padabub the hippopotamus, and Padabub the hippopotamus saw him. It looked right at him, and he locked eyes with it, and to say, I don't fear you. I trust. I know Panas Daru are in all things, and Papa all the explaining, so I don't fear you. The Dabab hippopotamus started to run right at him, and he just walked straight at it. They came close together, and Dabab took his big head and rammed it into Tatwi, who flew away, and the people say, oh, he is dead. However, Tatwi landed away on a bale of hay, yet he was knocked out. The Shakas people went to see if he lived. They found him out cold. So they took him to the home of Pharaoh Atumre. Tatwi laid there. When Atumre said, son, wake, he opened his eyes with a slow, weak voice in pain and said, Master teacher, I thought Panas Daru were in all things. Why did this happen to me? I trusted your words. Now look at me. Atumre looked at Tatwi and said in a loving voice, my son, it was Panas Daru and those people who said don't walk that way. You did not listen to them. Sacred or scared, they are different. Blind faith and trust are not the actual facts and truth. Papa, all the explaining is even in Padabab the hippopotamus, and he did what they do also. The Father. Now that we have heard the story, please discuss what we have learned amongst ourselves at the different Maratat. Thank you for listening. Hatap Uashaki Yasar Wadatun.